What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Legitical Response. We cover political news. We keep you up to date and keep you informed with everything that the government does. And by God, this Biden administration is doing a lot. They're doing a lot of stuff that they really shouldn't be doing, y'all. Okay, so we've been following all these Trump prosecutions. Sorry. So we've been following all these prosecutions. And, they're completely falling apart, if you will. You look at all the stuff that's going on, like that was the thing that really turned me on to paying attention to what's going on in politics, what's going on with the corporate press, is the corporate press constantly lying about everything. Constantly lying about Trump is what really turned me on to it, because I would hear something like, oh man, Trump really is a racist, isn't he? And then, come to find out, no, he didn't say that. He was actually talking about he wasn't just being racist, he was talking about actual criminals. So, so once these things started piling up, and I'm like, what in the freak is going on here? So I started following all this stuff, and I'm like, holy crap, the corporate press is constantly lying. And the Biden administration is the worst administration in American history. So that prompted me to get onto YouTube and start making videos about this. So look, I can maybe open a few people's eyes and see what's really going on here, right? So we've been following the classified documents case, which I've said in the past is the only legitimate case because of the classified documents. I said that one was legitimate, and now I have to take that back. I have to walk those comments back, because this thing just fell apart, y'all, by the way, in case y'all didn't notice from the thumbnail. Yeah, this thing has absolutely fell apart. Check this out.
House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan of Ohio has announced an investigation into the special counsel Jack Smith after a shocking filing from his office on Friday revealed that documents seized from Mar-a-Lago are no longer in the same order or sequence. The filing included a footnote reading, quote, "The government acknowledges that this is inconsistent with what the government counsel previously understood and represented to the court." Here with more, House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan. What would you call this, Jim Jordan? I'm wondering if the issue of whether or not the evidence has been tainted is now front and center in the case in Florida.
Yeah, the order of the documents seized was changed. That one sentence says it all. Most people would call that tampering with evidence. The physical documents didn't match up with the scanned documents. And here's the irony, Sean. This is Jack Smith mishandling the very documents that he's charging President Trump with mishandling. Go figure. I mean, that to me is the ultimate irony here.
All right, so come to find out, right, like we covered last week, I believe, the GSA actually stored 2 pallets worth of documents. I covered that, so go check that video out to be informed on this one. But I'll briefly break it down right quick. The GSA, they stored 2 pallets of documents the GSA is the transition team or whatever. So they stored the documents for 6 months up in Virginia before they shipped them down to Mar-a-Lago, right? So they had custody of these boxes of documents. So technically, Trump didn't box any of this, right? They're going after Trump for espionage, for God's sakes, as if he is the one that stole the documents out of the White House and took them with him. No, they went to a GSA, a government facility, the transition team, for God's sakes. They sat there for 6 months and then was shipped to Mar-a-Lago. And then lo and behold, a little while later, a few months later, here come the FBI knocking on the freaking door, right? They claiming they asked Trump, we wanted to get the documents back and all this other stuff. Well, they had custody of those documents. They could have went through those documents and took out anything they wanted to. They sat on those documents for 6 freaking months. So we found that out, and it's like, holy crap. So what is really going on here? This really starts to seem intentional. And then this bombshell comes out. House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan launches investigation into special counsel Jack Smith's admission of FBI evidence tampering in Trump Mar-a-Lago case. This one is going to blow your freaking socks off, if you will. Buckle up, because this is a long one. Check it. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan has launched an investigation into Special Counsel Jack Smith following recent admission that some of the evidence in President Trump's classified documents case was altered or manipulated after being seized by the FBI during its raid on Mar-a-Lago. The Gateway Pundit reported that Jack Smith's admission came in response to Trump's co-defendant Walt Nauda's legal team's concerns about discrepancies in the evidence's organization. Walt Nauta, a former White House valet and Navy veteran who later served as a personal staffer at Mar-a-Lago and was indicted alongside Trump last year, claimed through his attorney that the order of the items in the seized boxes did not match their scans provided during discovery. In a late-night filing, Smith conceded that the FBI had indeed moved boxes around within the boxes that contained classified information. This directly contradicts earlier Department of Justice assurances to the court that the contents arranged had been preserved intact. So not only did he lie to a federal court about the arrangements, like you might think, well, what does that really matter, right? Like, so anybody could have done anything with any of these documents. They could have added documents to this, for God's sakes. So what would make them want to rearrange the documents, right? Like, what's really going on here? First, they had them at a storage facility up in Virginia for 6 months. Then they ship them to Mar-a-Lago. Then the FBI raids. And then they misconstrue everything and get everything mixed up, then lie to a federal court about doing so. What's really going on? According to a footnote in the motion reviewed by the Gateway Pundit, the FBI messed with the boxes containing the classified documents they seized from Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. Footnote 3. The government acknowledges that this is inconsistent with what government counsel previously understood and represented to the court. See EG 41224 hearing, TR at 65. Government's responding to the court's questions of whether the boxes were in their original intact form as seized by stating they are, with one exception, and that is that the classified documents have been removed and placeholders have been put in the documents, right? So basically what this is you remember this picture, that picture that was strewn all over the place? You know, first off, like, why would the FBI release this photo of classified documents to the public? Like, what's really going on with that? Why would they release that to the public? That makes absolutely no sense. These are classified documents. They're supposed to be top secret nuclear codes, right, according to MSNBC. These are classified documents. Why would the FBI release this? Doesn't make any sense. Well, come to find out, the FBI put cover sheets on top of all this, denoting what's classified and what is not. And then supposedly they ran out of these supposed cover sheets, right? Like, so what is going on? Why would they release that? That's my main question. So they had control of the documents. They go to Mar-a-Lago, raid Mar-a-Lago, take the documents out of the boxes. That was another thing. They take the documents out of the boxes, strew them all over the ground, put cover sheets in some of this stuff denoting classified, top secret, and then take a picture of it and release that to the public. Now, tell me what's going on. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. What is really going on with this? I wonder if they could be trying to set somebody up. Very interesting, right? In August 2022, the DOJ lied to the court by asserting that the red, blue, and yellow sheets displayed in the widely circulated photo of the classified documents indicated their classification status. It turns out they were slip sheets the FBI used to replace the so-called classified documents. The DOJ lied, claiming evidence 13 boxes or containers contained documents with classification markings, and in all, over 100 unique documents with classification markings, that is, more than twice the amount produced on June 3rd, 2022 in response to the grand jury subpoena, were seized. I wonder why that is. Could somebody may have added some documents to this and then presented that to the court? Sounds like they're trying to set somebody up, doesn't it? Certain of the documents had colored cover sheets indicating their classification status. See e.g. Attachment F. Redacted FBI photograph of certain documents and classified cover sheets recovered from a container in the 45 Donald Trump office. The classification levels ranged from confidential to top secret information, and certain documents included additional sensitive compartments that signify very limited distribution. The FBI admitted they messed with Trump's documents. The FBI used cover sheets as placeholders for the classified documents. So to me, that sounds like they took some documents away and put placeholders in their place to take a photo to spread around on social media. I wonder if that sounds like a setup to you. After the boxes were brought to WFO, the FBI created an index to correlate the documents with classification markings to codes and labeled the classified cover sheets in the boxes with the codes for the seized documents. The FBI also generally replaced the handwritten sheets with classified cover sheets annotated with the index code, but regardless, any handwritten sheets that currently remain in the boxes do not represent additional classified documents. They were just not removed when the classified cover sheets with the index code were added. In many but not all instances, the FBI was able to determine which document with classification markings corresponded to a particular placeholder sheet. I wonder why. Jack Smith also claimed the FBI found so many classified documents that they ran out of slip sheets. Yeah, found? Are you sure that is the correct word and not input or placed strategically? Yeah. Insanity, y'all. This case just fell apart. The investigation team used classified cover sheets for that purpose until the FBI ran out because there were so many classified documents, at which point the team began using blank sheets with handwritten notes indicating the classification level of the documents seized, Jack Smith laughably claimed. So he's setting this guy, he's setting Trump up, and then laughing about it to the court, like, yeah, go ahead and prove us wrong, right? Like, no, the evidence is all coming out. Like, why? I still want to know why they would release that photograph. It pegged my question back then, like, I mean, I didn't immediately take that as that's how Donald Trump stored the classified documents. Immediately, but a lot of people took it that way, right? A lot of people he just had classified documents strewn all over the floor. Like, you see that on MSNBC, CNN, and all these other places, and I'm like, why would they think that? Like, why would they think that Donald Trump just kept classified documents strewn out all over the floor? Of course they were in boxes. What? So, come to find out, yeah, that was intentionally done by the FBI, and then they intentionally released that photograph of classified documents, by the way, and that didn't seem to pique anybody's interest at the corporate press because nobody ever mentioned why they would release this photograph. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm getting hung up on that, but I can't help myself. But because there are some very vexing questions that are going on now that all this evidence is coming out. Shout out to Julie Kelly, by the way, for reporting on all this, reporting that the documents were kept in the GSA facility up in Virginia for 6 months and then shipped down to Mar-a-Lago, where they were then raided by the FBI. And then the FBI takes the documents out of the boxes, strews them all over the damn ground, puts cover sheets in there to denote classification status, and then takes a picture of that. Yeah. This is not a setup, by the way. In response to these revelations, President Trump took to Truth Social calling for the arrest of Jack Smith, labeling the prosecution a sham. Yeah. That's what it sounds like to me. Arrest deranged Jack Smith. He's a criminal, Trump said in a Truth Social post this weekend. Chairman Jim Jordan expressed grave concerns about the justice system's impartiality and adherence to professional standards within the DOJ. In a letter addressed to Jeffrey Ragsdale, counsel of the Department of Justice's Office of Professional Responsibility, Jordan stated, This acknowledgement presents grave concerns about the department's commitment to impartial justice, whether the counsel's office misled a federal court, and whether the special counsel's office strenuously upheld the highest professional standards of the Department of Justice. Jordan demanded that the OPR investigate Jack Smith, Jay Bratt, a senior member of Smith's office, and other attorneys involved, citing serious ethical lapses in prosecution. The House Judiciary Committee has demanded to produce the following documents and information. All documents and communications referring or related to any allegation of ethical impropriety or any OPR investigation concerning the conduct of Jack Smith, Jay Bratt, or any other attorney assigned to work with the Office of Special Counsel Jack Smith. All documents and communications referring or relating to the manipulation of documents seized from President Trump's residence at Mar-a-Lago, and all documents and communications referring to or relating to Jay Bratt's interactions with Walt Nauta, defense counsel, including allegations that Bratt attempted to coerce Mr. Nauta's cooperation with the government by leveraging the prosecution of a judgeship for his counsel. Huh? Yeah, so they're trying to get one of Trump's guys to flip on him over this. Right? Like the same thing they did with all the January 6th defendants. They made them say, oh, it was Trump's fault we were here. Yeah, Trump is the reason we were here, and he's the reason that we didn't storm the Capitol and didn't trespass and didn't interrupt an official proceeding, right? This is all outrageous coming from the Biden administration. This is just, it's completely insane to me to think that your Department of Justice, right, the people that are supposed to be the bastion of justice in the world, right, because we're the leaders of the free world, right, and we're supposed to be free and fair and everything's impartial and all this, they are just totally skewed. Oh, God, this blows my freaking mind, just how corrupt the Justice Department is under this Biden administration. This is completely insane. I can't believe they would go to this length to get Donald Trump, manufacturing evidence, essentially, tampering with evidence, lying to the federal court about it, and trying to blame all this on Donald Trump, putting him through the freaking ringer, costing him millions of dollars in legal fees to hire lawyers, to go into court, taking up all his time, taking him off the campaign trail. This is just, I really hope, the corporate press, they get on there all scared. Oh, Donald Trump is going to arrest everybody. Yeah, I really hope he does, because I really hope he puts somebody in the Department of Justice that has a spine, that will go after these people and not be afraid to arrest them for the wrongdoings, especially Jack Smith, especially anybody tied to this, all those FBI agents that took those documents and just strewn them all over the place and took a picture of it and released it on social media. This blows my mind. This pisses me off. It should piss off every single American out there that they will go to this length to take down a man, and for what reason? Because he wants to make America great again? No, that's not the reason. Because he's not willing to play ball with the deep state, the establishment machine up in Washington, D.C., because he says, no, we want to clean this up, so they take every single chance, and they take the full force of the federal government behind them to put onto Donald Trump, and this is outright outrageous. The deadline is set for the DOJ to respond to the committee's demands for information, and a briefing is 5 p.m. on May 20th, 2024. And, in case you want to see it, here's a tweet from Jim Jordan announcing the investigation. This is just blows my mind. This is utter insanity. Right? You would never think, I bet most people that don't pay attention to politics have no idea that crap like this goes on. It makes you wonder, how much other stuff have they done this with? Like, how many innocent people have been prosecuted by the DOJ just to prove a point or just to shut somebody up, right? Like, we know of government malfeasance. Of course we've got corrupt people in the government. But when you look at something like this, it's like, okay, this is getting so big and so bloated that it's almost the entirety of the government is doing very underhanded stuff, and it's just outright corrupt, if you ask me. This just goes to show just how bad the Biden administration, but it goes well beyond the Biden administration because, a lot of these people have been working in the DOJ and the FBI for decades. And if these people are just willing to just do some very underhanded stuff, some very corrupt actions, just to get Donald Trump, to shut him up, did they really think that this evidence wasn't going to come out? I guess they did. Or maybe they don't even care because they know there's not going to be any accountability because, Biden is part of that established machine, right? And Merrick Garland's not going to do a damn thing about it. I don't know. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm being a bit naive, but I really wish that these people would actually think about what the hell they're doing to this country. They are destroying the justice system outright. If you haven't thought already that the justice system in this country was absolutely broken, then this should sew that up for you. It just breaks everything, breaks every norm, breaks everything you thought about the criminal justice system in America, when it comes to federal levels. I'm sure your local DAs, you got a lot of good DAs out there. You got a lot of Soros-funded DAs out there too, but, a lot of your locals are probably okay. That system is probably fine. Sure, it has its issues, but, with all this going on, because this is interdepartmental actions going on. This is the DOJ, the FBI, both. The CIA was probably involved in some of this. The GSA, the Government Services Administration. That's another question. They had these documents, like I was saying, for 6 months. They sat on them for 6 months and then told, had to get rid of these documents, said, look, we can't hold on to these no more, ship them down to Mar-a-Lago, right? So they could have went through all those documents in that 6 months' time and figured out, hey, there was some classified stuff that maybe Donald Trump shouldn't have, right? They could have done that, but they didn't do that. Why? They intentionally sent this down there and then intentionally screwed everything up. Now that everything has been mishandled, we don't know if they added documents to that because of all the other malfeasance that has been going on with this case. Now, who is to say they didn't add classified documents to all this stuff just to put Donald Trump under the bus, throw him under the jail, right? Who is to say that? You can argue out damn near anything now because of it. It's what? Blows my freaking mind, y'all, but I think I've ran it on for long enough on this one. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section. Is this case going to be dismissed now because of all this? What do you think? Is Eileen Cannon going to see the writing on the wall and see that this appears to be a setup, outright setup, just boom? Or do you think that they're actually going to go through and go to trial? Because now the espionage charges is looking more and more. It's looking like complete BS, if you ask me. But let me know what you think down in the comment section. That's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. Hey, don't forget to hit that like button on your way out. And y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.